Hey guys, Mikoshi here. I'm quite excited for Path of Exile 2. I've been playing Path of Exile 1 for almost 8 years, and 90% of the time I've been playing bow builds. And I've made quite a few guides on bows, and I wanted to share my opinion about bows in Path of Exile 2 before the early access opens up. Now, I wanted to make this video to give my opinion if you should play bows as your first main character in the early access. The short answer is absolutely not. Why? Well, you need to understand the playstyle of bows if you haven't played Path of Exile 1. It is extremely fast and has an insane amount of clear. It is very good for mapping. So the goal of bow builds usually is to run through maps, kill the most amount of monsters as quickly as possible, and then get out of the map and do it again. Now, it is very good against single target DPS if scaled well. However, those are going to be coming with investment and higher end gear, which we won't have early on in the early access. And it will take a lot of time to get there. Bow builds take time. They take time to make for you. They take time to farm to get the items that you want. And they also take time to be made. You know, new players, new game. It's going to take a lot of time to understand how bow builds are going to be working. And it's going to take a lot of time to know which are going to be the best ways of making bow builds. And bow builds, unlike, you know, certain other types of build, need to be well made. You need to have a good understanding of the build. You can't really put one item with the other and then expect the build to go well. However, some builds work like that, but that's not the case for bows. Bow builds are known to have an unlimited ceiling, which means you can scale it till the end and beyond. But I think for an average player, and especially not for a new player, playing bow builds in Path of Exile 2, which is going to be vastly different than Path of Exile 1, is going to be a bad idea. Before, in Path of Exile 1, whenever you died, you could always come back to the map and have 5 additional chances for the map, right? So in total, you had 6 runs for a single map. Now in Path of Exile 2, they completely changed that. You only have 1 chance to complete the map, which means if you die, your map is done. The game is a lot more dangerous and a lot more slow, especially in the early access, and builds are more likely to get one-shot. These guys are fast, deal a lot of damage, but they aren't tanky. They are often subjects to random one-shot death, even if you make them tankier. And the game is new, so it's most likely that certain enemies are going to be completely broken and like not good. Like they're going to be too strong for the game. There might be bugs where you die in one shot. There might be things that just don't work. Especially when you're fighting enemies for the first time, you don't understand them well. You don't know if they have certain abilities to look out for. And it is quite unforgiving to play a bow build. That's why I don't think playing a bow build would be a good idea if you're an average or casual player or new. I think it's going to be a good idea if you are a complete tryhard and that you understand the game, that you'll be like paying attention and playing a lot the game. But I think for a general player, it's not going to be a good idea. Now to go on the mercenary. The mercenary will be kind of like a bow build but with crossbows. However, I think it's going to be a completely different vibe than bow builds. First, well, I think most mercenary will be playing with grenades or things like that, and they're going to be more made for single target, right? The clear is going to be good. We've seen videos where, you know, you pop a grenade with multiple projectile and it blows up even more and more and more. However, this does give the vibe of trap builds in Path of Exile 1 just on steroids. It's still going to be a better option than the bow build because the bossing is going to be completely insane in my opinion, especially the Witch Hunter. I think it's going to be probably one of the best, if not the best, boss hunter in the game. However, in terms of mapping, and if you want to replicate the feeling of a bow build, I don't think the mercenary is going to be the way to go. Now, it is important to take all the information that I give you and all the information you get from other content creators with a grain of salt, because the early access is still not even out. The best builds that exist, we don't even know them. However, I think the best way to choose your first build in Path of Exile 2 early access is going to be those that have an overall good amount of power in every single aspect, you know, in terms of defense, in terms of offense, in terms of clear speed, and in terms of bossing. Now, if you had to choose between a mapper and a bosser, I think going for a bossing build is going to be a lot better. For example, mercenary build, because the game is a lot more slow. And if you're able to deal a lot of damage to a single target and have high survivability, it's going to be better if you're clearing packs, even though you'll be clearing them a lot slower than, you know, quick bow builds. I think that strength builds are going to be very good because they will give inherent bonuses to life, which will make you a lot more tankier and is going to be a lot more harder to get life in Path of Exile 2 than Path of Exile 1 with the passive tree. So the inherent bonus of strength will be very good. I think that the possible mana stacker, energy shield stacker that's going to come out, because there's a lot of nodes that are very good with mana stacking, which is going to increase the amount of energy shield that you have, is also going to be very good built archetypes. And finally, I think that minion builds, which will keep you away from danger, and the Witch Hunter builds are going to be stronger builds to play. They're going to be a lot more simple, they're going to be a lot stronger, and I think they're going to be covered by a lot more content creator, which will make that those builds will get developed a lot quicker. Those are going to be the builds that I think it is best for new and casual players. However, if you are a tryhard and you know you're going to be no-lifing the game, I think that any build will make do, because Path of Exile is known to be able to make every single build come true. Now, hopefully this video helped. I will be returning to Path of Exile 2 with guides once I have time and played the game enough to give you, you know, actual quality guides about a build that I completely understand. I will be playing bow builds, of course. I don't think I'll be starting with a bow build, and I don't think it's a good idea to start with a bow build, no matter how good you are at Path of Exile 1. Now, hopefully this helped, and have a nice one.